Here is the 2024 Toyota Sequoia Platinum in wind-chilled pearl over black leather. Last year was a full refresh, giving us 13% more horsepower, 31% more torque, 6 more MPGs for the city and 5 more MPGs for the highway. And this year, they're gonna go a step further. I'm Anthony from Hawkeye Rides, and when you get into the Platinum tier, what I mean by they're going a step above is now you can option the TRD off-road on this variant, which was not a possibility last year. That will give us the off-road suspension, give us the BBS 20-inch black wheels, and you're gonna have more than that 8.6 inches of clearance. Because this is the Platinum tier, you're going to get the sequential LED turn signals for the front and the rear. LED headlights and daytime runnings, it's premium because of the tier level we're at. When you get into the limited, you can option this. LED fog lights, gloss black elements highlight the lower and the enlarged grille. The TRD will change out the grille, giving a more off-roadsy approach, which is not a bad thing because this is a beefed up truck, but it's an SUV all blended in. And underneath this long hood houses the unique iForce Max V6, producing 437 horsepower and 583 pound-feet of torque paired to a 10-speed automatic transmission, achieving 19 MPGs for the city and 22 MPGs for the highway. 20-inch machine finish alloy wheels will be set with the Platinum tier. 18-inch is standard, 22-inch goes to the capstone. Gonna get the gloss black elements that's going to surround the wheel wells, the Platinum badging, and across the side window trims, and a touch of it on the door handles. The windscreen is going to be acoustic, but the big problem I have right off the bat is you have to go to the capstone in order to get acoustic side windows. They don't offer it on any other trim. The plus is you have options, and it's not like Ford that you have thousands of options on the exterior and interior. They do simplify it a little bit. One thing that I would do is these running boards because it makes it easier to get into the near 9 inches of clearance. And towing maxes at 9,520 pounds with a max payload at 1,720. But when you're optioning the all-wheel drive, which is what we have, you lose 210 pounds on both perimeters. So near 6,000 pound curb weight, independent double wishbone front suspension with coil springs and a multi-link rear suspension. You can option the load leveling rear height control air suspension with adaptive variable suspension. And going with the TRD off-road package will give you the crawl mode, so you'll have about 7 different driving modes, which standard is 3 driving modes. And comparing this back to Ford, Chevy, GM, anybody that's in its class, this is gonna be one of the most versatile cargo SUVs that is out, which you'll see in just a second. LED taillights, the lower gets 1 exhaust outlet. The TRD is going to make it more aggressive, matte black for the Sequoia badging because of the trim we're in, set with a digital rear view mirror, which gives us a 180-degree view in the rear. So even though it's long, and we have the 360-degree reverse camera with bird's eye view, you still shouldn't really be worried about blind spots because there is quite a bit in this vicinity. But because it's stationed right next to the bumper, it makes it easy for you whenever you're driving on that long journey. Check out how it looks inside. Push here, and you can go inside to 11.5 cubic feet of storage if you're tall like me. Otherwise, a power lift gate, and look how much you could do here. These will slide forward to give you over 22 cubic feet of storage in the back. If you're wondering about the trays, well, it's on both sides. You simply pick this lower lip up here, and you can slide it forward inside the grooves. Fold this out, and it'll cover up those areas there that we have for the tracks. And you can adjust it 3 different levels, which the nice thing here is when you put it on the top level, you now have access to put something up here. Obviously, you'd want these to be folded back more, but you could put suitcases in front of it to hold any storage. And we still have a home plug. Split fold the rear bench in the back electronically. It's going to take a couple of seconds, but it will go down with a little bit of a hump because of the way it sits up, giving us 49 cubic feet of storage. Now we have to go into the back to fold down these rear seats to give us 86.9 cubic feet of storage. And you can lift them up so you have optimal storage, or you can fold them down flat, so that way it's a more flat sit. We need to go inside, start up this Max Hybrid so you can hear that exhaust note. Way power seat adjustment for the driver, 12-way power seat adjustment for the passenger, heated, ventilated memory for the driver. Headroom and leg room. The Sequoia is a large vehicle and it gives a lot of space in the interior. The redesign was last year. You have a two-tone dash and it's going to have more of the Tundra interior, 14 speakers through JBL with a subwoofer and an amplifier, and storage with a 12 volt in front of the 14-inch infotainment screen. Wireless Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, Sirius XM, AM, FM, streaming Bluetooth audio. Put it into reverse and we got a reverse camera with full trajectory and the 360-degree camera on the side here. You can change different layouts for the camera, in which each of those you can also pivot towards which way you want to see. And when you hit the view, you have the bird's eye view now. That'll go all around the vehicle. Click on the car icon here, and you can change the color of the vehicle, which is pretty cool. Standard tri-climate control settings. QI wireless charger can be optioned on the limited trim. You can't get it on the SR5. Leather is going to be on the shifter and on the steering wheel. It's heated, multi-function, with adaptive cruise control, lane keep assist, Toyota Safety Sense 2.5 Plus. The gauge cluster is a full digital reader that can go through all of your different settings. Turn-by-turn navigation, and the different driving modes to change the configuration. With the Platinum, they also offer the TRD off-road package, which will give you a crawl mode and you'll get the off-road suspension. Heads-up display, which is 10 inches. That can be an option on the Limited. Digital rear view mirror, that is optioned on even the SR5. A large pano moonroof. Going back into these areas here so you can see for your storage amenities, there's no pass-through. Here's the key fob for the Sequoia. Open here, and you got a storage pocket. Slide this, and it goes into the first tier that can open up into a large storage box. Area for change, USB ports. And what I like about it is it's simplified, so you can just throw your phone here if you don't have the QI wireless charger. The door panel and the dashboard configured together, and it has a 2 area for an armrest. Both are soft to touch, one touch up and down for all the windows. The Capstone is the only vehicle that will have acoustic side front windows. All of the vehicles will have an acoustic windscreen. Storage, you get a tier here and a large storage pocket with at least 2 beverage holders carved out. For the second row, captain seats. Headroom, if I go back a little bit, because it is carved out because of the pano moonroof. So it has a little bit of a bulk right here. So just kind of tilt the seat back, find the lever, and that way you don't have any issues if you're over 6 foot tall. Same thing with the leg room. There is no problem. Storage behind both of the front seats. Standard third climate control, heated, ventilated second row. 2 USBs and a home plug, and the center has cup holders and a large storage box and more or less a pass-through to go into the third row. Second and third row will also have sunshades, which you can't get that in the SR5. You're getting the same 2 tiers for the armrest area and soft to touch, and the same storage capacity as the front door panels. Easy to enter into the third row, simply folds all the way up. And I like that it's not as much carpet, so that way it's a little bit easier to clean. And just fold this back down, fold this up so you can see my leg space with the seats not pushed back. Both sides get cup holders and the sunshades with air vents in the ceiling and headroom. It's going to be a little bit more tight. Sitting into the center, it's still doable. I would say this is the best for headspace. Feet, butt, and shoulder space isn't too bad. And you have another storage tier underneath here. and they electronically will move back so you can recline these seats. And the best part is you can adjust them back and forward, because if there's cargo in the back, you want to close the tailgate, push them forward, get inside the vehicle, and then you could push it back to give optimal leg space for third row occupants. 56 more horsepower than the prior gen, 182 pound-feet of torque more. This is what it equates to. Basically a speeding ticket, because I need to slow it down. But 437 horsepower, does it sound like a lot? Not necessarily, because it's almost 6,000 pounds, but it does a great job in putting everything together, considering it weighs near 6,000 pounds. It's smooth, it's composed, the steering is light, a lot of space in the interior. There's a lot of pros. I'm not a huge fan of the bigger screen. I think maybe a 12 to 13 inch to just cut this tip off would have fit a little bit more flush and making it look more cleaned up. You don't receive Toyota Safety Sense 3.0, you get 2.5. But I mean, look at this baby go. I like the exhaust note that filters in. It doesn't feel like a V8, not expecting that out of a twin turbo V6. Taking me to some cons about the vehicle is you have to go to the capstone in order to get pretty much everything you want, in which it would be nice if they gave us some of those as optional features, but they just don't do that. I do like that you can option the TRD off-road package now on this Platinum tier, because you can get the off-road suspension, you don't have to spend the extra dough to go into the off-road variant, and you're still getting the Bilston shocks. You're getting more clearance. I mean, when you're at near 9 inches, what do you think Toyotas are known for? You see them in the desert. You see them doing wild things, and yet they're still comfortable in an everyday use vehicle blended in. 20-inch wheels, I think, was a good option. 22-inch, it's not going to change or alter it too much, but you will feel a little bit more of the imperfections in the road. Going standard for the SR5, I would suggest the Limited, because that's more of the sweet spot, because you can get options, and 18-inch wheel comes standard with that. You're not going to get the QI wireless charger. You want the digital rear view mirror, you can option in the Limited. JBL sound system does set it apart, and this is the best in class with the cargo storage units that it has, plus all the availability that it has in the interior. Driving on a long distance, it's comfortable. It's basically a Tundra that's closed up, having third row capabilities. Another con is you do not get cushion extensions for the passenger. That's why you're getting 2 less power seat adjustment for the front. No massage seats also in this tier, and it is one of the least expensive in class, which is a huge plus, because if you're considering the rivals like Ford, GM, or Chevy, you're going to be spending at least $5,000 to $10,000 more to get some similarity in the features that you have in this trim. The biggest problem to me is when you go to the capstone, this can escalate into $80,000, $90,000, and $100,000, in which, did they forget that they offer Lexus? Yes, you're getting a V8 with the GX, but not for 2024. You're finally getting this engine, which I thought was a little strange for 2023, that they still optioned the older variant performance, because the extra 13% horsepower and 31% torque is definitely a treat, and you're also getting 6 mpgs more for the city, which a lot of people drive these in the city. For highway, you're getting 5 more mpgs. So overall, it's a great bargain value. Plus, it gives optional luxury amenities and options, not like Ford, like I was saying on the exterior. Turn radius though, it's long. Expect 3 lanes. The Expedition has a similar sound to the exhaust, but this is just with a single exhaust tip. But let me know your thoughts in the comments. And if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. Check out the next video, merchandise, website, and Instagram. Leave a comment and a like.